Well, I haven't said anything about this disastrous situation in Japan because, quite frankly, I don't know what to say. You know, these images that we've all seen by now are it's not something you want to watch, you know. So, you know, seeing entire villages wiped out in a time span of 7 minutes, and all of this being filmed in real time. You know, the same thing happened, of course, you know, in Indonesia 3 or 4 years ago, with 250,000 people dead in that tsunami, and now we have this, and on top of it, this whole nuclear mess. So all I can say is my heart goes out to the people who are affected by this, and the focus needs to be really on the living at this point. You know, the dead haven't even been counted, but the people who are in these areas are the ones who need the help. And I have no comment on this nuclear meltdown shit. And that's basically what it is, except to say that I'm sure some of these designs were put in place because they saved money. You know, there was an in-depth article about this kind of reactor design in the New York Times, which I read during my lunch hour, and there were quite a few objections actually to that particular design, coming from inside the industry, I might add, not just from anti-nuclear groups. And basically the containment building, you know, with this flat roof, and they didn't mention the flat roof, but you know, the containment building is that particular containment design is a cheaper design than what you would have, let's say, at San Onofre nuclear power plant, and it was done for cost savings. That was the bottom line. And so, you know, of course, the situation in Japan is very unique because we're dealing with an earthquake, the third strongest ever recorded on this planet since the recordings began. So that kind of puts things in perspective, you know. I think that situation in terms of the nuclear fallout and stuff like that, it's totally out of control at this point. So we can only hope, and for those of you who pray, so we can only hope that this high-level radiation is blown out to sea and over the Pacific, and not, you know, doesn't linger over the Japanese mainland. I'm not too worried, you know. I live on the west coast of the United States, and I'm not too worried about the radiation reaching the United States. By the time it gets here, it'll be pretty low level, okay? Of course, you know, it all has a cumulative effect, and I'm not, you know, I've never been a supporter of nuclear power. For one thing, it's these reactors have a lifespan of perhaps 50 to 60 years. They're extremely expensive to build. And yes, I see the cost-benefit ratio. You know, there's only been, you know, during the last 60 or 70 years, 3 major nuclear events, including this one. But on the other hand, you know, we haven't even figured out how to store these spent fuel rods once they've been used up. You know, you've got all the stuff stored in big mountain depositories, and all of this shit has a, you know, radioactive lifespan of thousands of years. So, you know, these, in my opinion, are just further disastrous to happen. So, and, you know, nobody wants that in their backyard either. So, no, I think, you know, the way to go is renewable, with renewable energy. And using uranium, by the way, is not, you know, that's also not renewable. I mean, those supplies are quite limited. And so in the long term, no, I don't think nuclear power is the solution. The tsunami thing, you know, is pretty frightening to see. Really. I mean, it just makes you realize how vulnerable you really are when you're faced with Mother Nature. And I guess that's all I have to say. Personally, you know, I'm getting paid tomorrow. Today's the 15th, so I should get my paycheck tomorrow. So I'm already, you know, on the donor list for Doctors Without Borders, and I'll be probably chipping in a little extra tomorrow. If you, you know, are so inclined and you have a little money left over, I'd urge you to do the same. Or to just get in contact, if you know anyone there, you know, to get in contact with people there and see what you can do on the local level. That's it for tonight. I'll see you later.